What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Glad to have some content for you again from Cal Anderson's football history. I've got David with me, one of the developers on this game. And David, for somebody that hasn't heard a lot about this game in the past 5, 6, 7 months, could you just kind of get us up to speed a little bit with where this project is right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So, first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is David. I'm a 3D artist, recently graduated from SCAT, Atlanta. And I've recently joined the team as a 3D artist. I don't have much context of what was going on before I arrived. Of course, I did sort of jump on the project at an interesting time. But I feel like right now the project is just kind of I would call it leveling up. A lot of the things that the previous developers had done in the past were good enough to sort of get the project off the ground, but now we're really, really going for it, really making like the one build. We're trying to make everything really good, from the start, and trying to get everything set up so it's the best game that it can be. So we're really working to make sure that the game is, up to the fans' expectations.
Right now, what is your main objective in working with the game?
So like I said, I'm a 3D artist, so my main concern is just beautifying it. Right now I'm working on making stadiums and making them look really, really good, making full capacity of Unreal 4. Because it's the game engine that sort of looks the best. So I'm really working hard to make sure that these stadiums look really awesome in game, that the grass looks realistic, that textures and everything, every little detail is sort of included in there so that, visually the game is the best that it can be.
So we had seen some screenshots earlier this week, including some of the textures, and they do really look good. What are you seeing right now as the biggest challenge with this product?
Well, I'd say the biggest challenge right now is um, probably performance. So as you've seen, the grass looks really good, and that's actually a sort of a really interesting visual effect in Unreal 4. It's called parallax occlusion. Basically, it's taken a lot of computational power to pull it off, but it makes it so that the grass looks 3D. It looks really good, and the paint, the decals, and the lines on the field look like they're really placed on this grass. And it looks really great, but we're trying to work hard to make it so that it's game viable and it doesn't eat up a lot of the processing power, dedicate other resources to, gameplay and other stuff. So that's one big challenge, getting that grass sort of material ready for the game. Right now it looks really good, but it's not really that optimized. And I'd say the other challenge really is just the amount of content that we want to create for you guys. We want to make sure that there's enough stadiums for the many different game modes, and that fans are happy, turning on the game and not just always seeing the same sort of visuals over and over again. We want some variety in there. I think that's the biggest challenge for now. Yeah.
What are you doing then from stadium to stadium to kind of present those unique arenas where someone goes and it doesn't feel repetitive, it doesn't feel the same?
Well, I'm really trying to play at the differences between American football, Canadian football, arena, and dynamic. These stadiums, these atmospheres really feel different, not only in the crowds, but sort of the makeup of the stadium, the lighting, the mood inside these scenes. And apart from that, we just want to, after like the first sort of base stadiums are all set up, we're using modular assets to really create a lot of variety and build a lot of stadiums very quick. So, the textures and everything can be swapped out. A lot of decals, a lot of like banners, signs, all these things that really make it so that we can create a lot of different looking stadiums. Also, I know this is a future sort of goal for the game, but we do want to have a lot of weather effects included in the game, and different times of day, different lighting, so that way we can really have a variety of visual sort of moods when you play again.
What type of customization? I know obviously you're working on all the assets, but once those are completed, what type of customization can we expect as users when we're going in and trying to modify these stadiums or suit them to look like maybe something else than what they really are, as far as a modding perspective?
Well, as far as I know, we have not, at least with me, talked a lot about customization, how we're going to approach it. What I am doing is constructing these stadiums modularly, so the parts all fit together and they should swap out, seamlessly. And if we are going to include this kind of customization, it would be in the vein of games like Fallout 4, maybe their little settlement building system where all the parts are built on a grid and you can combine them and put them together however you want. It would be really interesting to have it set up to where you can put your own textures in the games in terms of signs and decals and names all over the place. I think that'd be a really cool implementation so that you can create your little asset, your little logo. If you want to create your own stadium, you want to call it the Ryan Reeves Stadium. You can just create the logo, put it in the game, and it's uploaded directly to all of the textures and stuff. So right now, that's not my main focus right now. It's getting really good stadiums up and running, but that's definitely something that we can work towards in the future.
Now, with the player models we had seen before, are those things that are continuing to be used then?
Yes. Right now, my job is purely environmental artist. I'm constructing the stadiums. I'm constructing the surrounding, geometry. I have some experience with characters, but that is not the job that I am, performing right now. But I do think that the player models are going to continue to be using. They just need a little bit of cleanup. From my understanding, there has to be rigging has to be sort of brought up to date, and then we can create blend shapes which allow the customization of that one model. You want in bulkier, fatter, shorter, taller. Change certain features on the like any character customization in an RPG game, so that we can really have a full range of characters in the game. Like I said, that's not kind of where my job lies, but it's definitely. I do think that the assets that we have right now, we need to make the most out of them. But like I said, we are trying to sort of level up. We are trying to make this game look much better than it used to.
So, with that said, what are you using as reference points for some of these stadiums that you're creating? Are you going out and maybe not looking at actual stadiums, but what are you using to kind of inspire what you're making these things appear like?
Yeah, so as a 3D artist, reference material is just essential. When you're trying to model anything, create anything that resembles real life. So I am using a lot of this. Now I know licensing issues and all that stuff. I can't just go and copy a stadium. But for example, right now I'm working on the American Stadium, the American football stadium, and I'm looking at just many different stadiums, all reference images, and sort of mixing and matching the different elements that are in that to create something unique. One stadium might have just a really gigantic scoreboard and a huge, flat screen on one end, but the other might have just really cool stands and the seating arrangement and all that stuff. So I'm trying to mix and match and trying to make something unique. But yes, I am definitely using a lot of reference material, a lot of measurements. I want the game to be proportionally accurate. That's something that I noticed with the assets that I got handed over, the old assets. They looked good, they were fine, but they weren't even, in real human scale. If you actually placed a human in there, some of the props looked pretty cartoonishly built. So, I'm going in there, I'm using actual measurements, trying to be as detailed as possible and as careful as possible in constructing the stadiums. But yeah, definitely trying to draw some some inspiration, I should say, from real life.
Can you talk a little bit, just briefly, about some of the projects you've worked on in the past? Maybe any work that you've done that maybe anyone in the field of playing video games would have seen or known of?
Well, I am a recent graduate from SCAD, so I have not actually shipped a game before, unfortunately. But so I have my portfolio online. I've worked extensively. I kind of categorize myself as an environment artist as well as a game designer. The sort of finished portfolio-ready projects that I have are limited, but I do pride myself in my work, and I pay a lot of attention to detail, and I do want to establish sort of a solid artistic vision. So, if you do want to check out my work, my website is up and online. You can see kind of what I'm capable of, I guess. But I should say that, in this business, especially game development, we're always just kind of working to get better every day. We're really in the business of just learning software, learning new tricks, getting better day by day. In this job, I'm learning stuff, every single time, and every single time that I sit down to work on this. So yeah, but if you want to check out my portfolio, I guess I'll give you a link so you can include it in the description or wherever.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'd be glad to do it. And obviously, good to know that even if you've got a limited portfolio, you can, make sure the work you're doing now, which is going to be seen by a fair amount of people, is the best. So to close this out, a lot of people are obviously going to want to know the obvious question. What is your,
Hmm.
your history with sports games? Do you follow the NFL? Do you have a favorite team? Kind of tell us what brought you to this project.
Right. So right off the bat, I should say I am an avid, I guess what you guys call it, soccer fan. I am originally from Colombia. I'm not American, so I grew up just watching soccer all the time. My favorite team is FC Barcelona from Spain. However, I have been interested in NFL in the past. I have caught every Super Bowl, every now and then. I do catch a couple of matches. But, I play a lot of FIFA, obviously, sports video game. Played a little bit of NBA 2K, played a little bit of Madden with my friends. But, I'm not the biggest sort of NFL guy, but I'm definitely, really interested in the sport. And with this job, obviously, I want to do a great job for you guys, trying to make it as authentic as possible. And I do have a lot of experience with sports games, be it another sport, soccer, but I definitely know what the gist is about. And, I'm always open to sort of learning, working hard to make the best game that we can. And if that means, I have to buy a copy of that and just sit down and play it for a while, I'm definitely up to that.
There's probably a lot of people that wouldn't recommend buying a copy of Madden to make a good video game, but I understand your point. So it's been a pleasure to have you on, David. I really do appreciate all the time you gave me tonight
Yeah,
and
thank
look
you so
forward to
much.
having you on in the future as the game progresses, all right?
Yeah, absolutely.